Imagine waking up tomorrow to discover your job is gone, your future rewritten overnight. But here's the real question. If certainty is dying, what replaces it? Across systems, stability slips. AI glitches, supply chains pulse, headlines blur. Trade maps flicker, risk multiplies. Noise becomes a vortex. Look closer. The pain bends, not breaks. Imagine waking up tomorrow to discover the paycheck you counted on has been automated away. The weather forecast that once felt reliable now lies about the storm already at your door. And the global headlines have rewritten your 5-year plan overnight. What if the certainty you built your entire life around, the stable career, the predictable seasons, the reliable economy, is quietly crumbling beneath your feet right now in 2026? Why are billions of people across every continent feeling this slow, almost invisible death of certainty? How is artificial intelligence quietly stealing the job security we once took for granted? What happens when climate chaos turns entire regions into places people must flee rather than call home? And in an increasingly fractured global economy, torn by trade wars and geopolitical rifts, who actually thrives when nothing feels predictable anymore? Over the next 15 minutes, we are going to answer every one of these questions with real stories from the lives you recognize. Your morning commute, your family dinner table, your scrolling feed, while uncovering the deep forces driving this shift and revealing what it all means for your personal future. This is not alarmist doom. This is the quiet revolution happening beneath the surface of modern life. Stay with me. The answers we uncover together may quietly redefine how you move through tomorrow. On a Monday commute, certainty thins. A father reviews flood paperwork. City billboards scroll crisis headlines. A certainty meter quietly drops to red. We have all felt it in small, nagging ways. The moment your weather app promises sunshine, yet a flash flood soaks your commute. The company-wide email announcing another round of AI-driven restructuring that makes you wonder if your role is next. The grocery bill that keeps climbing because distant trade tensions disrupted the supply chain you never even thought about. These are not isolated inconveniences. They are symptoms of something far larger and more profound. The slow, almost imperceptible death of certainty itself. For most of the 20th century, certainty felt like a birthright. You chose a career, worked for one company for decades, retired with a pension, and trusted the seasons to behave. That world is gone. On January 27, 2026, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists moved the doomsday clock forward to 85 seconds to midnight, the closest it has ever been to catastrophe in its 79-year history. The Science and Security Board cited 3 converging failures of leadership: unchecked risks from artificial intelligence, insufficient action on climate change, and escalating geopolitical tensions that now threaten nuclear stability, biological threats, and global cooperation. This is not metaphor. This is the scientific community's clearest warning yet, that the systems we once relied upon for predictability are fracturing. The human cost is already visible in everyday statistics. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, based on surveys of over 1,000 employers representing 14 million workers across 55 economies, shows that technological change, led by AI and information processing cited by 86% of companies, combined with geoeconomic fragmentation, economic uncertainty, demographic shifts, and the green transition, will transform the global labor market by 2030. The International Monetary Fund, through Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, warns of an AI tsunami hitting labor markets. 40% of jobs globally are exposed to AI-driven change, rising to 60% in advanced economies. Many entry-level and middle-skill roles that young people traditionally use to begin their careers are disappearing before they even start. Meanwhile, 2025 delivered 55 separate billion-dollar weather disasters worldwide. The U.S. alone recorded 23 such events costing an estimated $115 billion and claiming 276 lives, with the Los Angeles wildfires alone causing $61 billion in damage, making it the costliest wildfire in recorded history. These are not abstract numbers. They are flooded basements, canceled flights, lost wages, and families deciding whether to rebuild or relocate. On the social front, the 2026 Edelman Trust Barometer reveals a world sliding into insularity. 7 in 10 people worldwide are now unwilling or hesitant to trust anyone whose values, backgrounds, or information sources differ from their own. Optimism for the next generation has collapsed to just 32% globally, with double-digit drops in India and China. The income-based trust gap has more than doubled since 2012, reaching 29 points in the United States. Developed economies now sit at the bottom of the global trust index, while developing nations top it. When trust erodes and people retreat into echo chambers, collective solutions to shared problems become almost impossible. This convergence, exponential technology, accelerating climate disruption, fracturing globalization, and collapsing social trust, creates a perfect storm in which old certainties simply cannot hold. Societies built on reliable patterns now navigate constant flux. The result is widespread anxiety, workplace disengagement, mental health strain, and deepening inequality. Yet this slow death of certainty is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a profound transition. We will explore the deeper causes in detail shortly, but first let us ground ourselves in the real human stories that make this shift feel unmistakably personal. Let's move from statistics to the lived reality. Start with your morning coffee. The friendly barista is gone, replaced by a sleek AI kiosk. A marketing manager watches AI produce better work in seconds. The whiplash of feeling obsolete is profound. Climate uncertainty hits even closer to home. Families who once planned barbecues now check flood insurance policies after freak downpours. Globalization adds another layer. A trade tariff announced in Washington can empty shelves in Europe within weeks. On social media, the anxiety is palpable. Parents post about children graduating into a shrunken job market. These are not distant tragedies. They are your delayed deliveries, your flooded basement, your friend's layoff notice. The slow death of certainty is happening in the background of every ordinary day, and this is where most people misunderstand what's happening. So why is this slow death of certainty accelerating precisely now, in the middle of the 2020s? 3 powerful, mutually reinforcing forces are at work. First, technology, specifically artificial intelligence, is advancing at a pace that outstrips our institutions and our psychology. The IMF's Kristalina Georgieva has described it as a tsunami hitting the labor market. Research shows 40% of jobs globally are exposed to AI, either to be enhanced, transformed, or eliminated. In advanced economies, that number rises to 60%. Generative AI in particular has surged in adoption. Half of employers in the WEF survey plan to reorient their business around it, and 2/3 intend to hire talent with specific AI skills, while 40% expect to reduce headcount where automation is possible. The fastest-growing jobs by 2030 are big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists, and software developers. The fastest-growing skills are AI and big data, followed by networks, cybersecurity, and technological literacy. Workers who master these skills already command wage premiums of 23% in some markets. Yet for the millions whose roles involve routine cognitive or manual tasks, the transition feels like free fall. Entry-level positions that once provided on-ramps for young people are shrinking, creating a generational bottleneck. Second, climate change is removing the environmental predictability humans have relied upon for millennia. 2025 was the third warmest year on record. The planet experienced $55 billion weather disasters, from record wildfires to catastrophic floods and heat waves that killed thousands. The US alone tallied 23 such events, costing $115 billion and 276 lives. These are not random. They are the measurable consequence of a warming planet whose systems are shifting into new, less stable states. Farmers can no longer plant by the calendar. Coastal cities can no longer insure homes the same way. Insurance companies are pulling out of entire regions. The resulting uncertainty ripples through food prices, migration patterns, and political stability. Third, globalization, once a reliable engine of efficiency, is fragmenting under geopolitical pressure. Persistent trade tensions, tariffs averaging 18.5% between major powers, and supply chain weaponization slow global growth and make once predictable logistics unreliable. A policy decision in one capital can idle factories on another continent within days. The World Economic Forum identifies geo-economic fragmentation as one of the top 5 macro trends reshaping labor markets through 2030. These forces do not operate in isolation. AI helps model climate scenarios, but also consumes enormous energy, potentially worsening emissions. Trade wars disrupt the green technology supply chains needed to fight climate change. Social insularity, revealed by the 2026 Edelman Trust Barometer, prevents the cross-border cooperation required to manage any of it. The result is a complex adaptive system under stress, a system in which old assumptions about career, home, and stability no longer hold. Neuroscience adds a human dimension. Chronic uncertainty triggers the same stress responses as physical danger. When the future feels unpredictable, cortisol levels rise, decision-making narrows, and creativity can paradoxically increase or collapse depending on the individual's resources. Societies with strong safety nets and lifelong learning systems weather the transition better. Those without see rising anxiety, disengagement, and polarization. The death of certainty, therefore, is not mysterious. It is the logical outcome of exponential technology, destabilized climate, fracturing globalization, and eroding social trust, colliding at the same historical moment. What does the slow death of certainty mean for the decade ahead? By 2030, the OECD and related analyses suggest that roughly half of all current jobs will require significant reskilling or entirely new skill sets. The World Economic Forum estimates that 1 billion people globally will need to be retrained in the coming years if we are to capture the economic upside. AI itself is projected to lift global growth by up to 0.8% according to IMF modeling, but only if societies manage the transition equitably. Workers who master AI-augmented skills will see productivity and wage gains. Those who do not risk being squeezed out of the middle class. Education systems are already shifting. Finland's long-standing emphasis on problem-solving, creativity, and adaptability rather than rote memorization is being studied worldwide. Companies increasingly list learning agility as their top hiring criterion. Universal basic income experiments, lifelong learning accounts, and public-private reskilling partnerships are moving from fringe ideas to mainstream policy discussions. On the climate front, the next decade will likely see continued migration from vulnerable regions, investment in resilient infrastructure, and innovation in carbon capture and renewable technologies. Some cities will adapt with floating districts and AI-optimized water systems. Others may struggle. The insurance industry will continue repricing risk, forcing behavioral change at scale. Geopolitically, we may see the formation of new trade blocs and technology alliances as nations choose sides in the AI and green technology race. Supply chains will become more regional and therefore more predictable within blocks, yet more expensive overall. The human dimension is perhaps most profound. Mental health systems will need to expand to address chronic uncertainty. Social trust, currently in retreat, must be deliberately rebuilt through transparent institutions and shared successes. The income-based trust gap, already at historic highs, risks hardening into permanent class division unless addressed. Two broad futures diverge. In one, societies embrace the death of old certainty and build flexible, resilient systems. Continuous education, robust social safety nets, inclusive AI governance, and international cooperation on climate. Innovation flourishes, inequality narrows, and humanity steps into a more adaptive chapter. In the other, nations and individuals cling to dying structures. Polarization deepens, economic divergence widens, and the doomsday clock continues its march. The choice is not abstract. It is being made right now in corporate boardrooms, classrooms, voting booths, and living rooms around the world. In the long view, the slow death of certainty is not an ending, it is an evolution. Charles Darwin never actually wrote "survival of the fittest" in the way the phrase is popularly remembered. His core insight was simpler and more profound. Those who adapt survive. The species, the company, the individual that can bend when the environment shifts is the one that endures. Everything we have explored today answers the questions we opened with. Certainty is dying because exponential technology, destabilized climate systems, fracturing globalization, and collapsing social trust have converged faster than our old institutions and mindsets can contain. Yet the same forces that erode old certainty are also creating space for something new, a world that values learning agility, resilience, creativity, and human connection over rigid specialization. The quiet message of 2026 is this: the future no longer belongs to those who predict it perfectly. It belongs to those who remain open, curious, and willing to reinvent themselves when the ground shifts. AI will not replace humans. It will replace humans who refuse to adapt. Climate change will not destroy civilization. It will force civilization to become wiser about how it lives on this planet. Globalization will not end. It will evolve into more conscious, regionally resilient networks. Your role in this transition is not passive. Every time you learn a new skill, reach across an echo chamber, support a reskilling program, or simply pause before reacting in fear. You participate in building the adaptable world that must replace the certain one we are losing. The death of certainty is painful, but it is also liberating. It frees us from the illusion that any path is permanent and invites us to become active co-creators of what comes next. If this helped you see the world more clearly, subscribe to The Long View. We don't follow the noise. We understand what's changing beneath it.